fear through Killarney. Now I'm back to hitching with the wind. But if Mickey Flynn should ever find me, I'll throw me caution all behind me and square off on that son of a bitch again. He cracked open a river too, he beat me Sunday through and through, danced a jig over my unconscious frame. I won me healthy sheriff fights, well lucky son, still have me life since Mickey Flynn beat me dumb and lame.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Backyard Beers and Football. I am your host, co-host, Coach Shane, joined as always by my host, co-host, Coasts Rob and Steve. Rob, how are you, sir?
I'm going on a cruise on Sunday, so I'm doing all right.
You should be doing all right. You also a man of significantly more options than we are at this juncture. We just discussed ad nauseum your pass-up of the evening, and I think we can all agree on this side of the microphone, Inside Stories. Good selection. Steve, how are you?
Nah, kind of shitty, kind of okay.
Minorly drunk?
At least you're honest about it.
Yeah, minorly drunk, kind of shitty, kind of okay. Fellas, it's Backyard Beers and Football. Let's start us off with some beer recommendations. So, Steve, you have brought the beer for the podcast for this episode. What are we drinking tonight?
Hop Devil by Victory.
What's the percent?
6.7.
6.7%. And where'd you pick it up from?
Squirrel Murphy's in Warminster.
There you go. Pub, as the indication on the sign
and
say.
As the bartender saw me walking in, she already poured a shot, and I'm like, all right, I guess I have to do this.
And shot he did. And now he is slightly more inebriated.
See, here's the thing. Whenever I'm drunk and you're not, because you're never drunk, you still slur and mispronounce words. But me?
I know. I don't know. It's a damn mess.
It's like he's having a stroke over there.
I might be having a stroke. Side note.
I think my drunk just
radiates?
Yeah, radiates, exuberates off onto you, and then you're like, I can't speak.
It's a strong possibility.
You sure it's not your drunk that's making him sound slurred to you?
No, because we listen to it.
Yeah, we post the show, we listen to it for notes on ourselves, and I'm like, man, Steve has like a quarter of a bottle of whiskey in him and 3 beers and sounds completely normal. Like he could just read off his own dissertation right now. Meanwhile, I'm over here 3.5 bottles of water and I am ready to die.
Yeah, you got to monitor yourself this time, by the way. We're not going to do it for you.
Thank you.
As you sit there with literally 3 bottles of water.
And a half of water. But every episode now of Backyard Beers and Football, we will give you the beer of the night that we are drinking in studio. You guys, when you listen to it, you should listen to the first 10 minutes where we give you this beer, go out, buy the beer, and drink with us while we sit here and we go through this episode. And while you are standing there waiting in line for some dumbass clerk to scan you in, what you also should do is 100% rate and review this podcast. This and all AMYP podcasts. You can do that on Apple, Spreaker, Stitcher, Spotify, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Google Play. I don't know. Anywhere that you listen to podcasts, we're everywhere, man. We are everywhere. So give us a rating, give us a review, go out, buy the beer of the night, which is
Hop Devil.
Hop Devil.
By Victory.
By Victory. Get it at your local bars. Theoretically.
I'm an idiot. I have my e-cigarette. I thought it was in my sweatshirt that I just took
the
off. It was right
stand.
there. I'm dumb.
All right, well, Steve's out. So, as always, we're going to start this thing off. We're going to talk some Philadelphia Eagles football, which means we are throwing it to our Philadelphia Eagles guy, Rob. Rob, take us away, man.
Oh, there's a lot of things to talk about after this past Sunday's game, but I want to start off. Jordan Matthews is like that fallback girl that you always can go to when the endeavors with the hotter women are not working out. His third stint with the Eagles now. He's drafted by the team. He came back for a stint last year. They got rid of him. He's back for another stint this year. And Shane, as you alluded to, he's a better option than Matt Collins.
Everyone's a better option than Matt Collins.
Hold on,
Steve Drunk is a better option.
Were you trying to say that like Jordan Matthews is that girl that you've slept with like numerous times, but you never dated, and then you've gotten in a relationship, you broke up, and then you went right back to sleeping with her?
Exactly. Yeah, pretty much. Okay. Yep.
But that's got to have a title.
Well,
that girl.
That girl.
That's why I said a fallback girl.
Yeah, fallback girl. That's it. Sorry, I missed that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jordan Matthews, they should have just signed Antonio Brown. They still can.
What's his name? Dez is trying to come back now.
Dez can't run.
He was texting them right away. I'm sure of it.
What else has he got going on? This man's, what?
He's got Twitter.
About a year out from that Achilles.
Yeah, he's quote-unquote retired.
He's basically Alshon. Like, that's what he is. He's a guy who he isn't what he was 4 years ago.
His got a lot of free time to convince people he caught the ball in Green Bay.
Well, he did catch the football.
Fuck that. No, he didn't.
Man. But yeah, it's funny. I was actually, driving for Uber on the side like I do, and I had a passenger yesterday, and I had WIP on, so we were talking about the Birds a little bit because the passenger's an Eagles fan. And I didn't even realize this, but he brought it up that if you combine Mac Hollins' receiving yards this season with his penalty yards, he's actually good for -1 yard.
Yes.
Sounds about right.
That's pretty embarrassing.
The guy's a joke. I mean, and look, this is through fault of Mac Hollins for being a dog shit football player, like he just is. It's for the entire offensive scheming plan that goes through this week of process for willingly sitting here and saying, you're just going to block this week. That's all he is. He's a fucking offensive lineman who's skinny and on the outside.
He had one good game
That's it.
against Detroit where he had, 5 catches there?
I don't know. I don't remember the last time he caught a football.
I think that
I literally can't remember.
The Detroit game, he had 5 catches, and it's been 5 games. So that takes us back. They played 9 games. That takes us back to the 4th game, which is Green Bay.
Sure,
something like that. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a long time since Mac Hollins has had a reception, and he's probably not going to ever have a reception for the Philadelphia Eagles.
He should be cut
ever again.
Like that's just it. He's got to go.
So, what are your thoughts on Jordan Matthews as a player? Not in comparison to Mac Hollins, but just what he can bring to this team. We know it's not a whole lot. We've seen what he can do, but it's a pretty average receiver. What's your take on it?
I'll start since I am the actual
I
Eagles
anticipated
fan.
you starting.
I didn't know. All right, so just making sure, making awkward eye contact in the studio with Steve to make sure.
As my eyes were on my laptop.
I don't particularly hate Jordan Matthews the way that some people do. I recognize him exactly as you guys both. He's a guy. He's a guy. I will say that there are certain players that they just work out with certain quarterbacks. Like even though they're not that talented, nothing overly special about them. For whatever reason, that trust just works. And Carson obviously has that with him. I expect him to be on the field pretty much immediately, and I expect him to be significantly more impactful than Mac Hollins. Overall, there's absolutely not a single thing sexy about him. I'm still pissed off that he didn't shake my hand when we took his photos for whatever the hell the thing is with the kids and the bus and the glasses and whatever. He was a jerk then.
Yeah, well,
I don't know. He was a total tool. So as a human being, hard pass.
I don't blame him. Who knows where your hand's been?
Really?
At the time, it was a lot of popcorn oil.
That's true.
Fair enough. He's a pretty average receiver. I do like the fact that him and Wentz have some chemistry. They were the best man at each other's wedding, so they get along well, and that kind of, I don't know how well it's going to translate to on the field. Matthews was Wentz's number 1 target when he literally had nobody else to throw to in his rookie season back in 2016. And once again, he literally has nobody else to throw to because Alshon's playing like dog shit this year, Aguilar's playing like dog shit this year, and the rest of the receivers do not exist. And he has the tight ends to throw to, but as far as receivers go, Matthews might be the number 1 option out there.
He probably will end up being that.
Yeah, not right
because,
away,
like you said, the familiarity, and Jordan Matthews is that guy for the Eagles. Like, he'll go off to another team, he'll fail, he'll get cut, and the Eagles will be like, hey, we need a receiver, you're coming back. And he's like, yeah,
6
sure.
times over.
Yeah.
He's got to collect a paycheck. We need someone that can catch a football.
This probably will not be his last stint with the Eagles.
Honestly, what do you guys think? I think that he's on the roster next year.
I do. I think eventually you're like, all right, we got to stop this.
Yeah,
like
you can't
usually
just keep
you
doing
see this with like the guys that are like truly irrelevant, but like they can like return a punt for you, like the Andy Reid, Chad Hall thing.
Sure. Yeah.
But
Dorito
Jordan Matthews,
Mahez.
yeah, and Jordan Matthews can actually like play the position of receiver. So like I'm surprised that he wasn't already on it. I guess he just wanted more money, and now he's like, all right, fuck, I need a job. So
Pretty much.
I think they'll keep him on next year.
He also
and
can't play special teams, which is the biggest reason why Mac Hollins is here. And even that he fucking sucks at. So
yeah, well, sure. But either way, I think Jordan Matthews, ideally, you just keep him on the roster for next year, just so you avoid this chicanery that's going on of just cutting him and then bringing him back. And then I think we could see him getting like a 7-catch day against the Patriots.
You really see that?
Yeah. He's got a bye. He's going to learn this offense again.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, so speaking of the Patriots, they were finally figured out by Baltimore, which means run the football, because that's what Baltimore was able to do very successfully against them on Sunday night. And it's something that the Eagles have done successfully when they've stuck to it throughout the season. The Eagles coming off a relatively unimpressive win over the Bears. They looked good in the first half. Defense looked great. They kind of fell apart a little bit in the second half. It was starting to look like the Carolina game from last season a little bit until the end, where they were able to hang on for the win. But with that being said, the Eagles and their ability to run the football when they do stick to it, do you think they have, and Shane, we'll start with you, do you think they have a good chance of beating the Patriots in 2 weeks?
No.
No? You sound really confident in that.
Reverse juju for one. As often as I can bet against them, I will. No, I think that I really wish that they had beat the Ravens. They had found a way to beat get exposed by the Ravens, but still beat the Ravens. They're not going to lose 2 games in a row. It's the fucking Patriots. It's just not going to happen. We have no wide receivers. Yes, our running game is fine, but they can sell the fuck out on it 3,000%, because who the hell is he going to throw the football to? What does it matter? Is he
Jordan Matthews?
Jordan Matthews. He may get 7 catches. It'll be for 14.5 yards. The guy can't run. It's just... Look, I don't think it'll be a blowout, but yeah, we're not beating the Patriots in 2 weeks. That's just not happening.
You were the least faithful person I've heard talk about this game so far. You were the least confident person.
Okay.
I've been listening to WIP. I've been listening to the Fanatic a little bit ever since Sunday, and everybody else is a lot more positive than you are.
I watched the fucking 2/3 of the game that they looked like dog shit against Mitchell Trubisky and the freaking Bears.
Yeah, that was garbage time, though.
No.
You already knew you were going to win that game.
You did not know you were going to win that game, as indicated by last year's Carolina debacle.
Yeah, it was 19-14 with a few minutes left in the fourth quarter, and they needed a Elliott field goal to kind of cement the game away.
Yeah, Carolina last year and the Chicago Bears this year and their time right now, that's
it
completely
doesn't matter.
different. It
Not
does.
really.
They lost to the fucking
Not
Titans
really.
the same damn way, basically.
I mean...
The Titans was a trap game.
When we lost to Carolina last year, they were a decent team at that time. They were coming off the playoff
Who the
appearance
hell
the
else
year
did we
before.
lose to besides the Titans and last year in the same way? We lost 3 or 4 games
A number
the
of
exact
games.
same ways.
We lost both times we lost to Dallas. We blew it at the end last year.
Yes, but we were playing from behind in those games.
True, but still,
the other two we were
okay.
front running.
All right, so yet again, I'm the outsider. I'm not the Eagles fan, but I'm still more optimistic than you guys. It's crazy. I think the Eagles do have a chance against the Patriots, and I saw no way of the Eagles losing to the Bears in the second half. There was no way that the Bears were going to be able to put up 21 points.
Chase Daniel.
If they put him in,
we would have lost.
Then yes, I would have been concerned, but they didn't. Matt Nagy's not that smart.
He really isn't. A year removed from winning Coach of the Year. Yeah. And the guy's on the verge of getting fired.
Thanks, defense.
Yeah, right.
Thanks, defense, and nobody understanding Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah. Then the book goes out.
He can't throw left.
Still can't believe the Bears traded up for him.
That's unbelievable. I mean, you're welcome, Steve.
They traded up one spot to jump over a team that wasn't even going to draft him.
Fucking quarterback.
Yeah.
What kind of dumbassery was that?
Oh, well,
yeah, that was
they're in the NFC. You guys should enjoy that dumbassery.
I am going to enjoy the dumbassery.
Okay, well, I'm feeling more confident than you guys are. I think the Eagles are actually going to go out, and they're going to win in 2 weeks over the Patriots. It's not going to be a blowout. It never is when you play New England. It's going to be a close game. It's probably going to be, I'd say, somewhere in the ballpark of, let's say, 27-24.
Sometimes it's a blow against the Patriots.
Yeah,
Chiefs.
well, this past Sunday was a blowout against the Patriots.
Yeah, and then the Chiefs
2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah,
Alex Smith, a quarterback and everything.
And also, you alluded to the fact that the Patriots do not often lose back-to-back games, but they've lost back-to-back games against the Eagles.
Okay, I didn't allude to that, but okay.
Yeah. No, Shane did.
I did.
Oh, okay. You were looking at me. I was confused. No, I think the Eagles do have a chance against the Patriots. I'm not betting on this game at all. Maybe an over-under. But
I don't bet on the Eagles because they always lose when I do.
Yeah, well, I bet on the Eagles and the Chiefs, and they both did me well, but the Colts fucked me over, so fuck them.
Jacoby Brissett, that selfish ass going down with his knee.
No, the fucking offensive lineman stepping on his goddamn
know.
ankle.
Hashtag not as good as Garoppolo.
But he is. He hasn't lost. They are 21-2 starting. Both of them are combined.
That's disgusting.
I know it is. Like,
Right? Like only one of them is a real quarterback.
I love how you're raising your beer like you're about to make a cheers to something over there.
I was going to drink, and I was trying to finish the thought first. I'm just going to keep doing it. But yeah, the Eagles do have a chance. You guys both, Eagles and the Patriots both have a bye. It's a matter of Doug Peterson versus Bill Belichick with a week off before the game. What happened last time? Please, both of you. Yeah.
Do you want to take the Super Bowl?
I mean,
Comment.
do we really even need to? Everybody,
I would like to feel good about the Eagles for a moment since I'm currently not feeling
everybody in the
great.
whole damn country knows what happened. Everybody in most of the world knows what happened.
The
And
thing is-
a backup freaking quarterback was MVP of that game, and we
He's
won the
a-
fucking Super Bowl.
He's a starting quarterback, all right? Gardner Minshew lost his
Gardner,
job.
he's out. 14
was a backup
touchdowns,
at the
4
time.
picks.
He was a backup at the time.
He was a backup at the time.
Come on.
Greatest backup in NFL
Let's
history.
be honest. If Foles can beat Belichick and Brady, then Wentz can do it.
Yeah, I can see that. Without receivers.
I was just going to say, first of all, Torrey Smith had a good playoff run with them that year, and we had a speed threat that they had to respect, even if he wasn't always catching the goddamn football.
Yeah, and we also had the one good year of Aguilar.
And Jay Ajayi, we do have the two running backs now, which kind of cancel out.
Yeah.
Howard and Sanders
We're
are
also
a great
deeper at
pair.
tight
Right
end.
together
Howard and Sanders are a great pair as long as you continue to utilize them.
in the ways that we are. Yeah.
The past 2 weeks, yes.
That's the biggest reason why. And let's get into some of the reasons or some of the things that the Eagles will need to get going if they want to beat the Patriots. And absolutely the run game is number one. Because, as I said before, when they get it going, it's pretty damn good. And the Patriots, as we saw on Sunday night, are weak against the run. If you can establish the run early against them,
They're
I
a
think you should be
unique
looking
running
good.
team, man. You're always in some sort of contain with Lamar Jackson. You do not have to do that with Carson Wentz.
They should play it like he is Lamar Jackson.
Sign Dez and let him run around, just like he did that practice when they were preparing for Mike Vick.
can we just bring Vic out of retirement?
No, he's
Why?
got
He
that
can't run.
cushy job now.
He does have that
sitting there
cushy
in
job.
Fox Studio, It's
That's
a
right.
Fox.
He can't
I
run. He
don't
can
know.
still run.
I don't know. Yeah, I think Fox post game. Who fucking
ESPN,
knows?
something like that. I
He's
can't
somewhere in a
wait to get a job.
suit. Good for him.
Man killed dogs. Dog got a job. You can always work out your problems. But
Nice.
what's going to help the Eagles is that Zach Ertz had his breakout game finally.
Yeah.
He finally is back to being Zach Ertz, it seems like, after one game. And then with a full week of tape, me like, oh yeah, this is what I did last year. I can do this again. I think they'll be fine.
So obviously the Bears planned on a remotely healthy play, at least half of the snaps to Sean Jackson.
Yeah.
It was a very differently run defense that I think we would have assumed that we were going to get with Deshaun Jackson off the field for all but 6 plays, whatever it was that he was on the field. And we can talk about that in a minute. But I think a lot of that was they prepared for one thing that ended up not being present at all. Kind of left Ertz there to do his thing.
Yeah, but at the same time, you adjust during the game.
Most
once
teams do.
Deshaun's out.
Deshaun was standing there with an equipment malfunction for 49 and a half minutes of the football game. They were working hard and diligently with him on the sideline there to make sure that equipment malfunction.
But
was
did they
rectified.
ever prop that 10 up?
Of course they propped the 10 up. He probably had to take a leak at some point during the game.
True man shits in his helmet. Tosses it away, sprays it down.
Takes
right
Matt
back
Collins' helmet instead. He ain't using it.
Or he just shits in Matt Collins' helmet.
up. Literally. Mac, let me see your helmet real quick.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
I can't play, coach.
No shit.
Smell this.
Straight doo-doo.
All right, J-Jaw, you're out. You're going in there.
Why is he not on the football field?
Because he sucks?
I'm
He's a rookie. You can't say he sucks yet. You just got to give him some
just
snaps
did.
and
He's
some
not
playing
good.
time.
He's not good.
I know you did. I just don't think you're right in saying it.
He isn't good.
Mecole Hardman has so many fucking fumbles, and I still am giving that man a chance.
Mecole is...
He's got
He's
talent.
legit.
He's got talent, and they are utilizing in a way to show it. It's just a matter of holding on to the football.
Yes. I can't believe that they continue to put him out there for punts with that, by the way. And I'm sure...
They took him out at the end. And you know what? It worked out, and they won.
There you go. That's because you got a brilliant head coach over there.
Special teams is Dave Toop.
But back to the J-Jaw thing. Like, Alshon had his worst game as a pro football player last week against the Bears. I do think that is like worst case scenario with Alshon. He's still going to be the guy. But at a certain point, first of all, why the fuck did we draft him after extending Alshon? That makes no sense, knowing that they're the same fucking receiver. And the reason that they're not on the field together is because they're the same fucking receiver.
Well, Nelson Aguilar's contract is about to be up.
What does it matter?
Does anything that Howie does in the draft ever make sense?
At this point,
aside
no.
from drafting Wentz?
And that was a gimme. Come on, there was 2 quarterbacks to top that draft. That was it.
And they got the right one.
They did get the right one because...
Luckily.
It's true. Because Jared Goff stinks. But still. I don't know what we're talking about right now.
Well,
Continue.
if you want to say Arcega-Whiteside and Alshon Jeffrey are the same receiver type,
They are. Split the time.
I don't care. You still... If you think he's the best receiver on the board at that time, you draft him. And then you evaluate your situation. I'm not saying that he was. I'm not saying that he wasn't. I'm saying if you feel he is, then yes, you draft him. Sure, you go for it.
Well, so far this season, Arcega-Whiteside is like 0 for a million and trying to run the correct route, as we saw, especially highlighted in the Atlanta game. And then the one time he did, he dropped the pass in the end zone that would have won it against Detroit.
It wasn't in the end zone.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
It was at like the 6.
No, it wasn't. I was at the game. He was right inside the goal line.
He was right behind the goal line watching it.
A bird's eye view, staring straight down.
Exactly.
He's like, just so you know.
No, I was actually in the opposite end zone, but they showed it 7. They showed it 7 million times on the scoreboard.
I see this 300 feet away. He should have had that in the end zone.
I saw it on a 60-inch TV.
Oh wow. Okay, you got 60 inches. Okay.
Just in TVs.
I saw it on the fucking 60-foot scoreboard or whatever it is they have there.
All right, dick measuring contest.
You had to go there.
He went there. He
went there. You know, we're growers, not showers. All right.
Oh my god.
But seriously, like Arcega-Whiteside, sure, he's still got to learn the offense, but I'm sure he knows this more than Matt Collins.
Even if he doesn't,
just fucking throw him out there. Yeah. But yeah. Other than that, no. Yeah, Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz, they're legit.
They are legit.
They're getting their catches now and their production, so just keep throwing them the ball and feeding Howard and Sanders.
Yeah, Dallas Goedert, one of the few high-value draft picks that Howie's made.
It was smart, too, jumping up, taking him in front of Dallas.
Yeah, in Dallas.
Yeah.
Drafting Dallas.
That's the only reason he did it.
The level of pettiness behind that pick was actually brilliant. I'm convinced
Wait,
he didn't actually
who
know
announced it?
what he was going to...
Akers.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so.
In his high-pitched voice, making fun of Dallas.
So lame. I still hate that. I know everyone else loves it, and they go, "Oh, you're getting trashed by a kicker," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's a freaking kicker. Who cares?"
I just love how the pick it eventually forced Jason Witten to come out of retirement.
To get him off the fucking TV, I was fine with it, whatever it was. That guy's terrible.
Yeah.
Get Booger off the Boogermobile.
That's true. No more Boogermobile. That must have sucked for the people in the first 6 rows of that sideline.
Yeah.
Yeah, couldn't have been fun. All right, so we'll get to the Lane Johnson's groundhog advice, but before we do that, real quick, standout stars for the Eagles in 2 weeks. We can get to this again next week, but let's just talk about it right now. Standout stars for the Eagles against the Patriots. One guy, who do you guys got?
It's got to be Jordan Howard. I mean, if you're going to effectively win this football game, it's got to be Jordan Howard.
Steve, what do you got?
I got to double down on the 7 catches for Jordan Matthews.
7
catches, about 80 yards, and a touchdown.
The former Patriot burning his former team.
It was like 4 weeks that he was a Patriot.
Something like
I don't
that,
even think it was that long.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I've already added to my Steve takes.
You added that to your Steve takes?
Jordan Matthews getting 7 catches.
80 yards.
So, speaking of Dallas
80 yards and a
Goedert,
touchdown.
You're taking D?
I'm taking Dallas Goedert. 2 touchdown catches.
Ooh,
Yep.
that's good, because I take a player prop bet on him every single week to score a touchdown.
Yeah, well, you better trust me, and he better make me look good for it.
It's going to be a really depressing moment in Whiskey Ramble of me talking about my bets. I have not won one in a month.
I'm having a tough go at things.
Yeah, it's been a while for me too.
I took the over.
Riding the struggle bus.
I had a guarantee. Then Jacoby Brissett went down, and then
the Chargers fucked me like always.
Don't
I'm never doing it again. I say it every week, but this week I mean it. I'm never betting on the goddamn
I don't
Chargers
believe you.
again.
All right, continue with you guys. We were saying. I'm sorry to derail it.
It's fine. It's a goddamn nightmare.
No, I think we could all rant about our betting misdeeds a little bit.
Probably.
Yeah,
Man,
it's been
what a bad
a
week.
bad look for me this year.
Chiefs over the Vikings was a risk. Eagles over the Bears was easy. Colts over the Steelers seemed easy.
Should have been, and that line was like at 1.5 points.
I don't care. I'd take them straight up, and
I
it was
know,
still
I'm just
$25 to win 200. And I'm like, this is easy money. I'm finally going to win a bet.
And then Jacoby Brissett and his goddamn knee.
And then
he's gonna play
Rigoberto
this
Sanchez fucking laces
Rigoberto.
towards Vinny Terry, who immediately shanks it, and I'm like,
He's
everything is
104.
terrible. Everything is terrible.
Honestly, he's got to bring the beard back.
Honestly, I thought he was going to retire 6 weeks ago.
When he said he was going to call some press
Yeah,
conference, you'll
yeah.
hear from me soon.
Yeah, and he did. And he was like, "Yeah, I'm still playing." Like, okay, I get you. I respect the shit out of you, but fucking retire, man. Yeah. You're not only missing kicks outside of your dome, you're missing kicks in your dome. Just hang it up. Retire on top. You won so many fucking Super Bowls. You won so many Super Bowls on your foot. Just fucking hang it up.
Yeah, he's spare parts at this point.
Nice.
Fucking. He's got to figure it
I had
out.
to sneak it in there.
He's got to figure it out.
Oh, my God.
All right, so Lane Johnson's groundhog advice column. Let's get into it.
All right, so the Lane Johnson's Groundhog Advice column. Real quick rundown. You ask for advice, we freaking supply it. Sound good? So when you guys submit things, we talk about it. This week we got 2 in. Neither one are particularly football advice. So this is I think the first time that this has happened. So let's give it a go. First one. Hey, we do protect your anonymity, by the way, so I don't read your name or anything unless you specifically say, "Hey, put this in here because whoever you're writing about listens, and it would be funny to you." But we haven't run into that issue yet. So. Hey guys, looking for a little wedding advice. I just got engaged and I clearly have never had the wedding conversation with my now fiance. Did you just spill a beer, Steve?
No.
All right. We both have very small families, so I assumed that it would be a small wedding, more of kind of a formality. She has never been materialistic or flashy, but then comes the wedding conversation. She wants fucking everything. How do I tell her that I want a divorce before I even get married? No, I'm playing, but for real, what would you guys not want at your weddings so I could make my pitch? I think he's asking what we 100% don't want at a wedding so that he can then relay this to her. Like the best man speech. If you didn't want your best man to give a speech, you'd be like, you can cut this shit out. Like any way to make this less of an event. So what things would you not want at your wedding? This is kind of how I'm taking this bit here.
I don't know. I'm just going to say have an open bar.
If you don't have an open bar, by the way, you're pieces of shit.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, yeah. Look, I bartended a wedding a couple weeks ago, and it's like 100 and some people there. Half of these people were recovering alcoholics. The bride and groom don't drink. And you know what they did? They had fucking beer. They had wine. They had things for everybody else because they weren't terrible humans. They said, just because we don't want to have a good time doesn't mean you shouldn't have a good time. So yes, have an open bar. Rob, what are some of the traditional wedding things that you would 100% be cool not having at your wedding?
I don't know. My biggest thing is basically cut all the crap out of the ceremony. Just make it short and sweet so you can get the reception.
That's true.
That's my biggest thing with the wedding. Just nobody wants to sit through the damn ceremony.
Yeah, so the Catholics are out.
Yeah, nobody, like, people just want to see you say I do, and then leave and go get drunk.
Basically.
The walk-ups for a reception.
That's terrible.
Like, I understand what you're doing. Like, I felt so awkward. I had no idea who these bridesmaids were. And then, like, the chick comes up to me. I'm like, hi, I'm Steve. Like, what? She's like, oh, we had to, like, outdo everybody else. I'm like,
We don't.
the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
Oh, when we walk up. I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
That ain't me.
I'll slide on the floor and then you just come in. I don't know.
What did you do?
I slid on the floor.
Like belly flopped onto the floor?
No. Slid knees out with no ACL.
I was just going to say, did you not go to that wedding after the knee injury?
No, this is before.
Before the knee injury.
I mean, I still didn't have an ACL, but I was
That's
like,
true.
yeah,
But
fuck
you
it.
didn't know it yet. You didn't know it. It wasn't confirmed.
Yeah, I had my suspicions, but yeah,
Your
it's just,
suspicions.
you don't need that. Like, I understand like whole music and everything. Just let the bride and groom do their thing on their way up. The groomsmen,
Don't need it.
the bridesmaids, they don't need to do that.
Yeah, just don't need it.
Just have them already be there. You know.
All right, so that brings up another thing. If you have any groomsmen who are single and don't have a +1, make sure they have their matched up with a bridesmaid who is also single and doesn't have a +1.
And relatively low standards.
Yeah.
My the bridesmaid I was with was a lesbian, so
That is so you.
Yeah, the bridesmaid that I was matched up with had a husband and 2 kids.
Some drunk ass bridesmaid from one of my last family's weddings. It was someone in the, like, obviously not related. I'm just going to say she attempted to have a threesome with me and Stephanie. I'm not 100% sure, but I do still have a photo somewhere from a
Who
photo
said no?
booth where she crashed. Stephanie looks less than pleased. I'm in the middle. Can't say that I'm not enjoying it, but that was interesting. So yeah, Rob, that's a solid point. I would say do your friends right and don't set them up with a lesbian.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy. Let's see.
Shit
What
happens.
other kind of shit can we cut out of weddings to make? I do like the fact that like there should not be an actual ceremony. That's horse shit. That whole like gajillion hours in between the fake ceremony and then the reception, that could go. Like they're like, here, check out some lovely restaurants in town. Like, no, I'm gonna fucking eat at your wedding. That's why I'm here.
I understand the ceremony. I'm not gonna say cut it out, but just shorten it.
That's what. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah,
he's saying.
get the dinner out there nice and early. Don't make people wait for it.
Yeah,
eat
a lot
dinner
of times
first.
dinner's at like 10. Yeah.
But no, it's like you go through this whole thing. Like I understand, like religion's a thing in the world, but like, come on, man, just
I got one.
shut down.
I got one. Best man speeches typically happen, although now fucking everyone speaks at a wedding. Parents, friends, cousins, people they've never met who are speaking on this couple. It's absurd.
Really, all I've seen is like the father of the bride.
That also sucks.
Father of the bride, which I understand, he's finally losing his daughter, even though they've clearly had sex already.
Very true.
And then the maid of honor, and then the best man. Like those three, I understand.
Nope, I'm out. Here's the thing. Well, I'm not always. I shouldn't say that. I'm
Hold
not
on,
totally
hold
out.
on. I'm going to interrupt you.
Go.
Fucking, we don't need like the mother or like the groom to sing. Like I don't need any of these songs to happen.
Also, very much agree. That's awful. Here's my thing. If you have a speech at the wedding, you can't have a phone up there and can't be reading from it. It's ridiculous because then you're speaking directly into a microphone and you're already a little bit drunk because you're fucking nervous and you're screaming into the microphone like a child. If you must have a speech, 2 things need to happen. One, you need to have that speech ready and you need to go and prepare or rehearse it in front of a focus group. We'll send the focus group there. We will supply it, the AMYP family here. We will all go out there and we will listen. If it is longer than 4 minutes, you're cut off. You're done. That's it. The microphone is just out. If it sucks 2 minutes in, you don't get to finish the remainder of the other 2 minutes that you might possibly have prepared. If it's fakely emotional, you're out. Basically, the only thing you can do is, hey, congratulations. And then put the damn microphone down. Nobody needs your shit unless you're hilarious, at which point you get an extra minute. 5, I think, is the limit. If you are a parent attempting to sing or do anything like that, hard no. That one's out. That doesn't need to be there. If you are saying prayers at weddings, I'm sorry, not everyone needs to hear this shit. That can go. There's got to be other shit. I don't think you need a photo booth. I think it's absurd. I don't think
Nobody
you need-
uses it.
Huh?
Nobody
Everyone
uses-
uses it. That's the thing. That drives me crazy.
No,
I was going to say, you're saying that, and then like downstairs you'll find a photo booth from a wedding of Shane and Steph.
You know, there's a photo booth at the last wedding that I went to, and I saw about 2 people using it the whole time.
Really?
Yeah.
Every wedding I go to and every wedding that I work now, it's like, it is so damn popular. And I think that pisses me off because 1, I don't want my picture taken. 2, if it's there, someone's going to ask you to be in there. 3, you got a failed threesome attempted. And like, this is just what happens in the life of Shane. And apparently I'm assuming the life of whomever sent this in to us.
Also, 4, like usually when you're doing a wedding, you're hiring a photographer,
Right?
and a
With
videographer, and
quality
everything.
stuff.
Yeah.
Now,
Not
speaking of that,
strips
cut
of-
out all the stupid freaking pictures after the wedding.
That is dumb.
Like between the ceremony and the reception. Like get 2 freaking pictures. That's plenty.
Yeah,
Just a couple of pictures.
Chris's wedding was good. They did all the pictures before, and then we went and did the wedding. Like that was nice and awkward, but still, it was nice. Got it out of the way,
Fine.
And then I could look forward to the whiskey.
There you go. Cocktail hours are fantastic. Don't fuck it up. Have good cocktail and hors d'oeuvre type of things there. That is wonderful.
That's one thing my friend knocked out of the park the last wedding I went to.
That's what needs to be there.
Banging cocktails.
Beyond that, for dinner, I don't know what you guys feel like. Everyone always gets the same. There's always it's a
steak
fillet. Yeah, wait, it's either a fillet
Beef
or
Wellington.
Yep, it's like two or three different kinds of red meat that you could possibly get. There's some vegan, vegetarian type of thing for whatever
Then
reason.
there's like
Get rid of that.
There's some sort of chicken dish, and
fish.
then there's some sort of, but it's almost always like a very similar variation of those things. So, and every time you go, you're like, oh, it's a wedding, and here's this again. All the food sucks. No matter how much you think this food is delicious, it is not. Save yourself some money. Everyone's going to love it. I would do family style of everything. I would get a bunch of different shit that's much better quality, probably cheaper. Family style.
Buffet style?
Yeah.
There you go.
That and always get a mashed potato bar.
Always a mashed potato bar. Did I ever show you the picture that Stephanie tried sending you that didn't go through?
No.
Just awkwardly just standing there, happy as hell at a wedding with a fucking mashed potato bar 3 days after you said the mashed potato bar is the best thing that's ever happened at a wedding. And I was like, who's had a freaking mashed potato bar? 3 days later, Steph's standing there eating a freaking fistful of mashed potatoes. So anyway, I hope that we have given you some solid advice here. I think that you're screwed and you're going to lose out on this battle.
We spent like 15 minutes talking about
15 minutes talking about things that we don't like, and I too don't have any interest in a wedding. My entire family thinks that we're probably already married, and we just haven't told anyone. What the hell are you doing?
That was awkward. That was a Snapchat.
That was a Snapchat. All right. Sorry. Second one we got in here is the second of two.
By the way, did you answer Ashley's snap today?
I was literally just looking at that one, and then like it went to the next one.
Who the fuck is Ashley?
That girl.
That makes a lot of sense.
Ms. Nasty.
Her name's Ashley.
Yeah.
I know.
And she's probably listening to us because she was listening last time.
Interesting.
She said she drank all the whiskey, which I can appreciate, but I'm not going to respond to her.
Appreciates.
I will when I get a chance because
go.
she likes the fact that I actually respond. So, unlike you.
Apparently, that's what women like when you actually respond.
This is why I fail. All right, the second one is I need the assistance of the Lane Johnson's Groundhog Advice crew. I've been dating my boyfriend for 2.5 years, and we've spent a lot of nights together, even full weeks together. No issues, never. We just loved in together. We just moved in together.
Yeah, it's going to be moved in.
Yeah.
Moved in while making love.
Is that there? You go. That's impressive.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Walking it out in June, and literally every single thing he does makes me want to kick him in the balls and throw a massive temper tantrum.
Just
loud
do it.
and violent enough.
Don't get the rest. Just do it once.
Complex hears me flip out, and how much of a tool this guy is to live with. My advice is: do I break up with him for these things? Do I attempt a rational conversation? Do I say that I love him, but we need to live in separate spaces? I don't know how to broach this shit, but I'm going to kill him in his sleep with a pillow doused in cyanide or something.
That's fine.
That might be the best option if he really pisses you off that much.
Good lord.
It was an accident. We were trying to kill the rats.
Trying to kill the rats. Yeah, damnedest thing. Damnedest
Oh my
thing.
god.
Nah, kicking the balls.
Spare him. Break up with him.
Break up with them. Oh my god.
No, what does he do?
I'm not saying to spare him from you, but spare him from getting kicked in the balls.
Here's the thing, like
Yeah, just, don't
need
get
to
kicked in
clear
the
that
balls.
up.
Just die. There's worse things than dying. It's called getting kicked in the balls.
look, I appreciate the fact that you've spent nights together here and there, that you've spent full weeks together, but those are all trial bases. Those are all like that fake honeymoon thing. That even if you've been together for 10 years, if you don't live together,
I'm just gonna assume he's farting.
maybe he shit his pants. Who knows? Like maybe like that's his thing. He's just like, oh man, that one cut a little too close. I gotta go bathe. Like I would understand if he then threw his poopy underwear at her. Was like, hey, do laundry with this. I'm sorry, that's a problem.
Or
like,
hey, honey, I'm doing laundry. Oh, wait, hold on. Fucking throws it at her.
oh my god, that's
Hits her in the face. What the fuck? She's got pink eye for the next week.
You're an idiot. Here's the thing. Anytime people bitch about their partners and things like that, like you know that your partner's bitching about you too, right? Like you got to understand that there's some shit that you do that absolutely drives him nuts that he wants to murder you for too. But here's the thing: you allow him your holes, so he deals with it.
You don't know that. It could just be no, mouth and vagina. You know, that's holes. That's a
Any orifice, all access. So he puts up with a lot of shit. And I'm sure that you put up with a lot of shit, and it is what it is. Clearly, possibly.
The other thing is that you're just looking at me during this.
Well, yes. We'll spin the mic and I'll look at Rob. It's weird. Well, see, my fat shifts better this way. If I sit this way, I don't feel like buttons are going to pop. But if I go this way, it ain't right. Like something's not okay here. And my microphone's angled at your beautiful face, Steve. Damn. What are some things that you've done that piss off the women that you've been with?
Oh, I farted in my sleep.
If it happens in your sleep, it happens in your sleep.
I wasn't actually asleep.
But they don't know. Did she know?
Yes.
All right. Well, now you're a filthy animal.
I can't help it. I fart before I sleep. I can't help with that.
Go to the restroom.
That. She knew that.
Go to the restroom, you animal. What's wrong with you? Good Lord.
Listen, sometimes you can't make it. And then you do that.
Are you an infant? Like...
No, sometimes you just, it's going to be one fart, and then just because I purposely pulled the covers over her didn't mean anything.
You're Dutch ovening your lady.
Dutch ovening. Yeah. I did, yes.
It's a freaking miracle that you're single.
It was fucking hilarious.
Did she kick you in the dick or balls?
No.
All right, so there's your first answer.
She just turned around and went to sleep.
Did she turn around and also fart on you? Because then I'd be shocked that you weren't married.
It was like 20 minutes later, but yeah.
That's love.
She actually did.
That's love.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
You're both also the most recent relationship that I had.
Match made in heaven right there.
Y'all are nasty.
It's absolutely a match made in heaven.
Seemed like it, but...
Rob, what are some of the worst habits you've had to deal with from some of the females you've been with?
Oh, my God. Well, it's always tough for me to bring a girl to a sporting event because I always end up almost getting into a fight.
Living with them. Like in terms of like spending nights.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well...
Yeah, not sporting events. We've heard the stories.
Yeah. That shit's different.
It is different.
I've never actually lived
well, you're not living with them, but like...
I know, I never lived with mine, but like she stayed over quite a few times.
Or you were at her house.
Getting way too drunk at frat parties. Which is literally every single time I saw this girl at Penn State.
They got too drunk, or you
no,
got
I
too
did.
drunk? So you're the fucking problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Did she kick you in the dick or balls?
I don't know. I was pretty drunk. If she did, I don't remember it.
I was never kicked in the gonads.
The gonads.
I was not allowed to have the sex. So.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same thing. She may or may not have withheld some things from me.
Man, so I guess you're gonna have to break up. Like, I'm sorry. I think that you're right in your second.
You're the only one that could actually like properly answer this.
I put up with a lot of shit, Steve. I put up with a lot of shit. So does she, but I put up with a lot of shit.
I know, but so what is the shit that she's dealt with?
On my end?
Oh, yeah. Too clean of an apartment? Too clean of a house?
Everything. Everything I do, she seems to think is so unnecessary. She's like, why are you, like, cleaning in a preventative way? Why don't you just clean when something's dirty? I'm like, it's
better be proactive than reactive.
I was like, damn. Like, this is just how I've always done it.
This is when you just throw a fucking puzzle.
So, yeah. No, everything I do pisses her off. But everything she does pisses me off, too. So
everything. Every single thing.
Literally every single thing. That's right. It has been however long now, and she still hasn't figured out where to not put the remote with a dog on a couch. On the fucking couch. Don't put the remote there. So no matter what it is that we watch, most of the time, I have no interest in whatsoever, but I put up with it because I love her. The remote's there.
On his phone.
That's
writing a new article.
Articles, twittering, all different things. But look, I'd break up with them. Like if you're genuinely
no. How long have they been living together?
Living together. They just started living together.
Yes.
But they've been together 2.5 years.
Okay, so you've built a strong foundation of a relationship.
Yeah, how do you not talk about some of this shit? Like, how do you not like sit there? Like, because I gotta imagine she didn't get into any type of specifics, but like. She said in there that they spend weeks at a time together, right?
Yeah.
You spend weeks at a time together. I assume that means like vacation or whatever. Most of the time on a vacation, if you're in a hotel, there's one restroom. Like, what if they poop too loud? And that makes you uncomfortable. What if you can't go to the restroom because you're afraid that you're about to poop too loud?
My ex-girlfriend would never shit in my place. And I'm like, I don't care. People shit. Just shit.
Yeah, I don't know. You're outside coaching her along. I can imagine that probably binds her up a little. Like,
Just
maybe
so what if
don't
I
do that.
walk in and have to take a shower? I don't care.
Well, that's a level of security that you.
I'm a very open person.
That's very Gallagher-esque
obviously.
of you. Just so you know.
Very what?
So wait, this girl's saying that they've been together for 2 years, and she didn't realize until they moved in together that they're probably not compatible.
Living together.
Living together.
But
Yeah, that's another thing, though.
this is the thing
Like,
about
you-
like
you
all,
should
all
Live in
these
different,
advice columns.
accept a job elsewhere.
All these advice columns. Like I just need a little bit more information before I can offer you good advice.
Quality advice.
Yeah.
I feel like these are the type of things where like we should sit there and we should don't write us in. Send us your phone number. We will put you on speaker and patch you in.
Yeah.
And we will call you and we'll talk through this shit together. I think that would actually be significantly better.
But based on what you've provided us so far, I'm going to say either break up with him or kick him in the balls so hard that he breaks up with you.
I'm just saying, if it really bothers you that much and you already like said it, just kick him in the balls once. Say it was an accident, maybe. You know,
Maybe he's
whatever.
into that. Maybe that's all he's looking for. Maybe
That's
he,
fucked up, man.
That's what I'm saying. Though, but
I would
like,
never
that
respect
is-
a man that's okay with getting kicked in the balls.
Look, man, I am 100% not that type of a sub or any type of a sub. But if he is, you might have some fun with it. If you're dumb. Just saying.
Well, she might have to be now. So.
She kind of has to be at this
Yeah.
point.
You know what? No. Bring out them handcuffs. Fucking handcuff him to the bed and tell him what you don't like about his living habits.
Man, all right, so
That was the best advice I could do.
I think that is solid. So Susan Sarandon, total babe, by the way.
Once upon a time.
Still, I don't care. She could look like hell right now. I'd still do it. But ties up the man who throws 100 miles an hour in the minor leagues and reads him poetry.
Henry Rowan Gardner.
What?
Rookie of the year.
Not rookie of the year.
Thank you, Rob.
Y'all are dumb.
You said it, man.
Unbelievable. Doesn't matter. But it is some form of torture because I do remember just sitting there and watching that, and then all of a sudden him saying, "So are we gonna do this thing or what?" She said, "I'm just gonna read you poetry." That sucks. Let's roll. All right, so we're gonna talk about this off air at some point, but I do think that we should probably start having these people call in and they'll be on the show in some
Live
way.
conversation with them.
The
Yeah,
Always Next to Your
absolutely.
podcast advice segment.
Absolutely.
go.
Or not segment, show.
Show, yeah, bit. So let's roll it. Let's talk back. All right, back into the NFL. We'll move back into the NFL now. I was about to go to the Chiefs because I already messed up our own order. We're going to save the Chiefs for last. We're going to go all around the NFL right now.
Let's do it.
So, as
Get
always, I read a lot of sports articles. I talk about a lot of things. Second beer going in for Steve. Third beer? Second beer going in for Steve. Managing his levels for DOE after this. One of the ones that I found most interesting, and I still think it's bullshit, but I want to talk about something beyond just this franchise. So, obviously, London has a desire to be part of the NFL on a permanent basis. They want to be home to an NFL franchise. The Chargers, who stink, are the team that are rumored.
Those Chargers just beat the Packers.
They still suck,
They
dude.
still stink.
I don't know.
Philip
man.
Rivers
I'm
throws
a little
from an
bit scared now.
impossible arm angle. It's weird as hell. I dislike watching him throw a football.
Me too.
I just dislike.
Also, every time he has sex, he has a kid. So
I know that's really got to be exhausting. I don't think I could ever finish. Like if I knew that, if I was like, oh god,
he only has the sex to procreate.
yeah, hard
Yeah,
no.
he's a Christian, isn't he?
What, with 48 kids, what do you think?
I can only assume.
You have to assume. Crazy levels. But
Says Carson Wentz probably going to have like 50 kids himself at some point.
I don't know.
He's not on the insanity of Phil Rivers.
Yeah, hard. Got to think not.
Or no?
Hard no. So, so the Chargers are the most likely rumored team there. Let's set franchises aside. What's your opinion on the NFL getting a full-time team in London? Do you think it's
Fuck
good
no.
for it? That's what I said.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It doesn't know. Like you look at it, like the
Logistically, it does not make sense.
every time a team goes to London to play, they get a bye
By week,
after that.
yep, every single time.
And then you got to think about their times playing. It's like
It's even if you put them in the East or whatever, AFC or NFC East, it's still a 6-hour flight or like a 5.5-hour flight from the East Coast, like New York or Philly, over to London. And
Like,
that's the closest point of the U.S. to London.
You'd be playing like a month schedule at a time. Like you'd be just on the East Coast, the United States, East Coast here for a month. And then you'd go back home for 4 weeks and people would travel out to you. And then, as Steve said, have a bye week after, and it fucks things up.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of like to counteract that argument is this London team is 4 weeks away, 8 weeks home, 4 weeks away. And I just don't think that's feasible at all. I just don't think that anything about London is feasible for like a consistent franchise. I don't mind games there throughout the year, but you can't have a franchise there.
It just doesn't work.
Think about it this way. Every single road game for them, even within their division, is going to be the equivalent of the Eagles playing out in L.A. Like, that's how far away it is.
Or really just any team out in L.A. because they just take over. Like, this away team just always takes over that stadium.
If you're going to do that, why don't you go ahead and put a Western Division team out in freaking Hawaii? That's 6 hours away from California.
Sure. That's what I mean. You sit here, it never makes sense to me for one, obviously logistically, and you sit there and you say, wow, I mean, if you're one of the two teams out in LA, that's a hell of a trip. How do you build a schedule that doesn't favor somebody every single week or for a stretch of time? It's impossible. If you get that bye week at a time, that's less opportune. If you got to have 8 straight weeks home, that's great for 8 straight weeks. But then you're asking a team to close out a season 4 straight weeks on the road, away from not just your city for a couple cities away.
Sorry, quote unquote city.
You're in a different fucking country. Like, it's absurd. I'm not for the London thing.
Canada would make more sense.
I'm all for Canada.
Canada and Mexico City would make more sense.
Yeah.
Mexico City's fine so long as they get a good football field.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Mexico's, what is it, like a couple hours south of California? Maybe like 3 or 4 hours? It's not that bad. I mean, it's definitely not as bad as traveling over to London.
No, not at all. Did you guys happen to see the Los Angeles Chargers response on Twitter?
Yes, I had to because I wasn't sure if they censored it or not. It was that Wolf of Wall Street scene.
Brilliant.
And then
I'm not fucking leaving.
Yeah, but they censored it. Like, I had to double check if they censored it or not.
But it's still brilliant because you know what he said.
But yes, but then like 6 replies down, there was one guy who was like, Chargers fans going, there are dozens of us, dozens of us from Arrested Development. It was so fucking funny. That was the best part about it for me.
I didn't scroll down far enough to see
You
that.
did not scroll down far enough.
That's amazing.
Me, I spent my whole time on the chair. Okay. Oh, wow, that's great. What? So I had to leave it on there, not do anything, wipe my ass, go out and be like, yo, I found the best response to it.
That is brilliant. I love that. There are dozens of us.
All the LA Chargers fans, dozens of us.
All right, so let's shift away from the London talk. So we've talked, obviously Canada, Mexico City. I think those are 2 significantly more viable options, adding additional teams and markets to the NFL that make sense for your product and make sense for the quality of your product, because I do think that the quality of the NFL has gone down every single year. I think it's pretty shit, if I'm honest, I think for the most part. And I think that if including a team that is that far time zone difference, it just doesn't make sense. So let's shift over to, this will be one of me and Steve's probably favorite topics to talk about. I'm sure we'll hit on it at another point. Minshew Madness is done, if only for the moment. Minshew Madness, he goes 4-4, completing 61% of his passes for 2,300 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions, and he is benched in favor of Nick Foles. Steve, you've talked before, almost ad nauseum at this point, basically stating, look, when Nick Foles is back, he is the guy. He's got to be the guy, and you continue to groom Gardner as he's shown the ability to do so. Now that you've seen what Gardner did over 8 weeks here, now that you saw what his record was, you saw the kind of numbers that he put up, you saw how effective he was in the offense, do you think they made the right choice?
Yes. One, financially, because you had to start Nick Foles. And this is Nick Foles, who is coming back now to a starting role very late in the season. So
something he's very accustomed to.
Yes.
And Nick Foles is the better quarterback. Minshew, he was nice. He had a nice little run, but I think he showed, especially the last couple of games before Foles came back, that he is what he is. He's maybe a fringe starter on some of the lower end teams in the NFL, but he's a backup quarterback.
Am I really about to get crucified right now? because I am. Nick Foles, his best year was with the Eagles. His 27-2 year.
27-2 with
After
Chip.
that, he was mediocre during the regular season with the Eagles when he took over for Carson Wentz. He was very mediocre. He's a very mediocre starting quarterback.
He's serviceable enough.
Yeah, but he's still mediocre.
He's
is that so much worse than what Gardner Minshew was giving you?
No.
He's better than Minshew. Foles
Is he,
better
though?
I think he is.
Is he?
Yeah, he's better than Minshew.
Why? Just because he won you guys a Super Bowl?
He is one of the best big game quarterbacks in football.
You're basing that off of what?
5 games that he's been in that were essentially must
Just because he never left with the lead, without the lead.
No, he did
part of
once. New Orleans because Alshon couldn't catch the pass.
Okay.
it.
Well,
Okay, that's true.
yeah. All right. So he
His
was
last
6-1 in the playoffs.
Pretty good. Pretty
All right,
fucking
I
impressive.
love Nick Foles. I really do. But I just think if you're thinking about the money and you're thinking about the other shitty quarterback situations that are going on in this NFL, is it too crazy to say that you see what Nick Foles can do for you for the rest of the year and then maybe trade him?
No, I think that's a very likely
Yeah.
scenario.
It's
impossible to trade that contract, I think.
Unless you're Chicago.
Chicago's not going to... No. I think you're right on your stance in Chicago. I do think it's going to be a middle-of-the-road, more Marcus Mariota type of...
For Trubisky straight up.
yeah, something like that makes more sense to me. I don't think that they go for a high-dollar Super Bowl winning quarterback, even if he is only mediocre at the end of the day. It just doesn't make sense. They're going to draft someone next year. They realize they fucked up. I agree. I think that Nick Foles 100% does need to be reinstated as a starter for that money that he's being paid. He also, you kind of built your identity around him. Sure, it was just a 3-year contract, but you understood what his skill strengths were. You understood the kind of offense you wanted to run and the pieces that were going to work best with him. He had really nice chemistry early on with a couple of the wide receivers.
What, his 4 series with them? Or literally like 2?
Hey,
And
he
all
threw
of
a dime
training
on the
camp.
play, got hurt.
He did throw a
He
fucking
did.
dime.
He did.
He has such a nice deep ball.
I understand what you're saying, and Rob, your rebuttal to it as well, of like he threw that dime. Gardner Minshew still did pretty all right.
He did.
He did.
In a different way.
Yeah, and his problem was fumbling the ball, and then those two,
As it always is for rookies.
god awful interceptions in the London
2
game, which I think
overthrows.
solidified him getting benched when
I do
Foles
too.
comes back.
Yeah.
You know what?
They were god awful.
I like Minshew, but I kind of liken him to Tim Tebow in a way that he went out there and he beat bad teams. Like I'm
There's
not
not
saying
enough talent that team should be winning anything anywhere.
yeah, but I'm saying like Minshew's obviously a better quarterback than Tebow is,
Yeah.
but he went out there and he beat bad teams. He beat teams like Cincinnati and who else did they beat? They beat Tennessee, I think. A couple other.
Tennessee every 3.5 weeks is a real football team.
They beat the Jets.
Like clockwork.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
It's not like he was playing, the best teams out there. He
Well,
did.
he played
He
his
did.
own
He did keep
schedule.
them close against the Saints. I'll give him that. The Teddy Bridgewater Saints.
He kept them close against the Chiefs when their defense wasn't quite there yet. They nearly beat the Texans, who are, I will say, is a decent team. They beat the Titans, who, like Shane said, every 3 weeks are a good team. They beat the Broncos barely. I'll give you that one. They lost to the Panthers, which is a game they should have won. And then, yes, they played the Saints close. And then against the Bengals, that was an easy win, but not so much. They beat the Jets. I'm now here feeding your argument. They lost to the Texans. But
So he.
for a rookie, a 6th round drafted quarterback.
What
That's
6th-round quarterbacks ever won?
That's not Tom Brady. You're trying to use my logic against me.
Okay,
I don't
let's
appreciate it.
let's narrow it down. Let's narrow it down. 6th-round quarterbacks who once beat the shit out of their hand to get a medical red shirt.
Wait, what?
You didn't hear about that?
No.
Minshew beat the shit out of his hand with a hammer so he could get a medical red shirt when he was at Washington.
Sounds
Or
appropriate,
at Washington
though.
State.
That 100% doesn't surprise me.
While he's
Sounds
drinking a
appropriate.
bottle of Jack to numb the pain.
I would do that too, I guess. Gotta keep my job.
There it is, Gardner.
But yeah,
Steve's spirit animal.
I still see the good in what Gardner Minshew did, and
Yeah.
I will uphold my opinion that he could be your long-term quarterback. let Foles take over now, and then bring you to 9-7.
Here's the thing. Nick Foles gets hurt. Every year he plays, he gets hurt. Having Gardner there to continue that maturation process, to then now watch from the bench again the way that he probably should have been watching this entire season, learning and developing. The 8 weeks where he held water there at 4-4, it's really impressive. Don't really care who he played. 4-4 with a team that had a lot of chaos surrounding him with the Ramsey stuff.
Developing a rapport with those receivers.
Yep, that he didn't have any time with, or almost any time with at all. I guess he did have some time because Nick Foles didn't participate in a lot of training camp.
Other way, seeing real regular season action is a different animal. So,
and the speed of the game, you're just getting accustomed to. Now, a lot of what made Gardner Minshew so good this year, or so entertaining, was his
personality,
100%. But his ability to make something out of absolutely nothing, and it wasn't always sexy.
Even though the whole thing with the Uncle Rico thing is Philip Rivers throws the ball
just like
Uncle
that.
Rico.
Oh yeah, with that goofy ass arm slot.
Yeah,
it's absolutely bizarre.
And he will be an Uncle Rico one day.
Probably.
But yeah, Gardner Minshew, as you were saying.
I don't remember where we left off with the Gardner Minshew thing, but they're correct in starting Nick Foles, and it is going to be good for the long-term development of Gardner. Let him leave high on this season. Yeah. I think it's
I mean, it's kind of leaving low. Yeah, there's
the two picks, and they were both bad on overthrows there.
They were the same fucking play, too.
Exact same play to the exact same spot of the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
but that's London. You know, you get diarrhea in London.
That's true.
According to Doug Marone.
So that's it, man. Just got the water doo-doo. Like, that's it. It's just not great. Let's just shift over to another quarterback here. Let's shift over to another one. Last snap ever. What, 6 weeks ago now for Cam Newton? Kyle Allen, what is your confidence level in him being a full-time starter for that franchise? Or do you think that this is just another hot hand?
For the rest of the year?
Not just the rest of the year, but turning this over to Kyle.
No confidence.
He's the bridge until the next guy.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
100%.
Yeah. So you think just Christian McCaffrey makes this team right now, and that's just it?
100%.
They might as well make Christian McCaffrey the quarterback.
Yeah. Did you see the D'Angelo Williams thing?
No, what was it?
He was calling out, like, you know, the Panthers, you know, they're praising Kyle Allen for being a game manager, and like they're praising him for not playing like Cam Newton or whatever. But if Cam Newton was asked to be a game manager, they would be like crucifying him.
I didn't see it.
That's what my coworker brought up to me. I think it was on ESPN. I don't think it was like an article. I think it was just like a vignette. But like, okay, sure, you ask Cam Newton to be a game manager, and then you're complaining about how much you're paying him just to be a game manager.
Sure.
It's
the Kirk Cousins argument.
It's a double, like, entendre kind of, double standard kind of thing. It's stupid. Like, Cam Newton, he was 0-7. 0-8, 9, whenever he got hurt. Like, he had lost, like, his 8 or 9 straight games under that team. Kyle Allen, though, was, like, 7-0 in 7 straight games, so. It's just...
Well, you have to...
Are you really asking them to do anything different, or are you just, like, game planning it differently? Sure, you probably are.
They're just different skill sets.
Yeah.
One thing makes sense for the other.
Yeah, one of them's actually meant to be a game manager.
Yeah, and then Cam Newton, like, you want to do this, and then he doesn't do it well. Do you, like, adjust it to make him a game manager, and then you get pissed off that he's managing the game?
I also think Cam Newton stinks.
Yeah, he sucks.
And he has to be done in Carolina. He has to be done.
That money doesn't make sense.
3 weeks in a row. Like, you use that money for, like, McCaffrey and, like, other people. So I think Cam Newton's done in Carolina, maybe even the NFL. I don't know.
He's going to be Denver last week.
I don't see Cam. Right. I don't see Cam lasting more than 2 years in another starting role anywhere else. I think he's spare parts.
It really depends on the offense coordinator he gets with. So we'll see about
and
next
it depends
year.
on his body, because I will say this: as much as I think Cam Newton stinks, and I hate the guy,
he peaked 4 years ago.
Yeah, he is incredibly talented. Does have a great arm. He is that prototypical.
Not
dual
so much
threat.
Anymore, though. With
the shoulder injury, that's fair.
Oh yeah, but no. But to be fair, it's his ankle or his foot now. So
sure, it's his whole body, but he's never been given time to heal. Ever. They just trot him back out there and make him the whole offense. Like Christian McCaffrey's touches went down. Everything down. they surround everything around Cam Newton. I don't know if that's Cam being who Cam is, or if that's the way that they scheme these things up. But he wasn't really given the opportunity to be a legitimate, high-caliber quarterback with a good scheme around him, with pieces that fit.
He was an electrifying. He was like a right-handed Mike Vick when he first came into the NFL for the first few years.
He didn't have the speed, but he had the power of running.
Yeah, goal lines. That was his jam. It was him, Aaron Rodgers, and Andrew Luck were all deadly 10 yards in.
He took too many hits.
Of course, he took too many hits. He's also a dumbass.
Yeah.
Like, the guy is just an idiot.
He also scared away from the ball in that Super Bowl against Denver.
So
Never forget that. Never forget that.
So shift over. So I think we have two more here. Handful of things I have left before we turn this back over. We got a couple questions, and we'll switch to that in a moment too. So an NFL power ranking thing came up, and I specifically just need to get Steve's take on this right now. Rob, you can obviously also chime in. Who do you think is power ranked number one right now?
It's the Niners.
How much does that piss you off? Do you think that that's accurate, or do you think that they're still riding?
You're just trying to do this because I said the Niners were going to lose at the Cardinals.
And I wanted to remind you that you owed me $20.
I have maybe $5 right now on.
You do not have to pay me $20.
Venmo.
I still think the Patriots are the best team in the league right now.
So do I.
I understand power rankings where, like, sure, this undefeated team, they're number one. I still don't believe in what the Niners have played and what they are going to play. I don't think that they're going to end this year undefeated. I think they will this year 11-5, 12-4 now. I think I said 10-6 or 11-5 before because they were going to be 7-1 after the Cardinals game, but they weren't, and I was wrong. I will unhappily admit that I was wrong. But they were very goddamn close to winning that game. But yeah, I don't believe in the Niners. I don't believe in Jimmy Garoppolo, Rob. I believe in Jacoby Brissett over him.
So do I.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, they are a benefit of their schedule right now. And they will be this year.
You see, they're deserving of being number one right now because to this point in the season, they've been the best team. Now, I agree it's not gonna stand up. I see them losing the NFC West on a tiebreaker to Russell Wilson.
Last week.
Not the Seattle Seahawks, but just Russell Wilson himself. Both teams will be 12-4, but Russell Wilson will have the tiebreaker.
Russell Wilson. I love it.
He literally is a one-man team. He beat the Buccaneers all by himself on Sunday. But
it's pretty insane, and I definitely didn't start him in fantasy.
Yeah, so with that being said, right now, yes, the 49ers are the best team. I don't see it standing up. I don't think it's going to be the Patriots either. Can't exactly put it. It might be Baltimore the way they're playing right now.
Oh my fuck!
I can't buy into Baltimore either.
Lamar Jackson, he's not a fucking quarterback. But
Lamar Jackson's a quarterback. I just don't believe in that team all around him.
I'm thinking has been like so Jekyll and Hyde this year.
Yeah,
I'm thinking the other way around. I think that in spite of Lamar Jackson, the team around him is going to come together, and that's going to be one of the best teams in football.
I don't know. I really love Harbaugh as a coach, but I just don't see that team. Like, they're going to win the division now, obviously, but I don't see that team like being the best in the league.
Yeah, I don't see it with the Ravens, but I do think that it's because I genuinely dislike Lamar Jackson as a quarterback. He's a phenomenal athlete and runner, and so long as he's got that speed, he's going to be a dangerous option night in and night out. But if you need to rely on him to get chunk plays with his arm, I just don't see that ever happening. But rounding out that top five on this week's power rankings that came in, obviously number 1, 49ers, only undefeated team left in football.
You know what? The Saints should be number 1.
The Saints are number 2 right now.
I forgot about them.
The Saints and Patriots right now are the two teams that would scare me most. Both for their defenses. One of those defenses we've seen now exposed, but I do think that was more so the kind of quarterback in Lamar Jackson, running back, that they faced that kind of exposed that defense. So I'm curious to see what they do the rest of the way.
It's also the first good team they've played all year.
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Buffalo has been debunked as a good team after the Eagles dominated them in their own house.
Yeah, Buffalo's okay.
Yeah, they're all right, okay, but they're not a good team.
They're fine. They're just meh. But it goes Saints, Patriots, then your Ravens, and then Steve's Chiefs are in at 5th right now in power rankings. So Matt Moore holding them down. So Andy Reid and the legend of backup quarterbacks continues. Patrick Mahomes also practiced this week, full participant and everything. Damn, I got a lot more things in here than I anticipated. We're going to wrap it through on some of these. I read a lot of articles this week. I just started taking pictures of shit to remind me. This one I do want to talk about, though, because we talked about it a little bit. I think you and I talked about it in the Chiefs segment, Steve. I can't remember. But it was a Tony Dungy thing saying that he's 100% done with PI reviews. So his tweet goes, please, NFL, do us a favor and don't let coaches challenge any more pass interference calls. You're causing teams to lose timeouts, making your officiating departments look inept, and making us fans still feel stupid. You're right. I do always sound drunk when I read. Yep. Like we don't know the meaning of clear, obvious, and significant. I hate the reviews in the NFL, and penalties can be called on literally every single play, or they can be called on no play. Like it's absurd.
Well, yeah, there's holding on every play. It's just a matter of when they call it.
And so often, the penalties that these guys call have almost nothing to do with the outcome of a play, which is just it's a fucking shame.
Nothing pisses me off when there's a holding call or like a block in the back that's called 25 yards away from where the play is happening.
I know. Yeah. Like, why the fuck are you watching it on that side of the field anyway? But in terms of reviews on the football field, I don't see it ever going away. I see these types of things coming into the NFL and just they'll work on making that correct. I don't see them going away. So knowing that they are not going away, what are some things that you guys think that the NFL could do? And do you think that a person as respected in the game of football as Tony Dungy is a voice that would maybe expedite the process of fixing some of these issues? Because the NFL on an almost every single week basis is nearly unwatchable.
It's a tough call.
Just add someone to the booth at these games.
Yeah,
and just go to him first.
Thing to do. That's the best thing to do. And mind you, I don't mind the NFL making the officials look inept because they fucking are inept, and they deserve to be exposed for that.
I think this has been happening ever since like that whole replacement ref thing. Like I feel like we didn't hear that much about like really bad fucking calls until the refs striked, and then all of a sudden like the replacement refs, and the refs come back, and now we're still fucking complaining about it. What was this 4 years ago? And like now we're still complaining about it, like even more than I can ever remember before.
Yeah,
just add a sky judge.
Sure,
go to him first, and then maybe then give a team one challenge for pass interference call if you really want to. But I don't know, it's just fucking stupid.
Yeah,
has a team ever won these challenges?
I don't think they do.
Peterson won against Green Bay, the Thursday night game.
So it was really crucial.
It was a game that was what was it? I forget. I think it might have been a non-call against the Packers. Somebody interfered with Alshon, and Peterson challenged it, and they got it overturned.
Interesting. I don't even recall.
Either that
is rare,
or it was something that interference against the Eagles that Peterson challenged, and it got taken away. But I know for a fact that Peterson did win a PI challenge in that Green Bay game.
So he's one of maybe one.
Maybe
might
one.
Be.
Yeah.
It's absurd. I do think it's interesting anytime a blue check mark guy and someone as respected as he is, as Dungy is in the NFL, goes ahead and speaks out against something that fans are so adamantly against to begin with. Again, and this is kind of this way all across sports right now. I mean, officiating all across sports is just being obliterated week in and week out. You got to fix it. The product is suffering. It's just the way it is. So the last one I have here, before we shift over into a handful of questions here.
Can I go back to the last one real quick?
Yeah,
I would just for shits and giggles, I would love to see Tony Dungy and Sean Payton sit down in a room together and discuss that.
The blown PI from last year. That would be fucking hilarious. Who is the dumber person in the NFL? I cannot get enough out of listening to Jameis Winston speak. Did you all hear his quote this week?
No.
I mean, the dude stole fucking crab legs from a supermarket once.
He's an idiot. His response in this quote is, "The glass is always full. It might be half full with water, but it's still full with air." I don't know where he comes up with this shit.
He's not wrong.
He isn't, but it's dumb as hell. So he's up there, and Lord knows what the hell he was talking about when he was responding to this. They could have asked him why he didn't throw a pass to the outside hash instead. Who the fuck knows? The guy's just he's insane. Or is it just the existence of Adam Gase? Who is the dumber human in the NFL?
Well, I mean, I think Adam Gase, you can blame the bath salts for some of the stupid shit that he does. With Jameis, the stupidity is all natural. So it's pretty much. I mean, as far as Gase goes, you got to be pretty stupid to try bath salts in the first place.
Well,
But
I'd give it a try.
Fair point.
I'm gonna go Jameis by a hair,
Jameis by a hair.
by a bath salt.
I don't know. It's a fucking solid tie for me. James Winston just sucks.
He stinks.
And
Everything
Adam
in
Gase
life
just sucks.
also stinks.
You know what? No, I'm going to go with Adam Gase now. Adam Gase has made a career off of being the offensive coordinator for Peyton Manning for 1 year.
That's amazing.
You know what they have in common? They both have a history of doing stupid shit down in Florida.
Okay, touche. All right, yeah, well. Either way,
Well done.
fuck them both. They suck. Adam Gase
right.
needs to be Jim Tomsolid and fired right away. If you're the Jets, if you're Joe Douglas and want to somehow redeem yourself, you have to fire him.
I would love to see Adam Gase go coach an XFL team with Jameis as his quarterback and see how bad they are.
Well,
And
you
you know
coach one with Andrew Luck.
It's not too far out of the possibilities.
possibility.
Yeah.
All right, let's rapid fire some questions here. We're going to switch over from around the NFL into our question bit before we end with some talk on the Chiefs. We will have a Chiefs segment for all of our Chiefs listeners out here. We will eventually have another one, I think, this weekend before the game. So, rapid fire some of these questions. First one that came in was, would you entertain bringing back Jordan Matthews? He's here. Second one is, has there ever been a more useless football player than Mac freaking Hollins?
No.
No.
Chad Hall.
I was just going to say, there's a team or a player on every single team that you could make that bit for. But right now, in a Philadelphia Eagles uniform, it is Mac Hollins. The guy's a damn bum. Third one is, how do you feel that our cornerbacks have played in the last few weeks? It's hard to tell with the last two quarterbacks that we faced. So that's interesting because the weather was obviously shit and Allen is garbage. So that Buffalo game I kind of take with a grain of salt. And Rob, it was kind of your take last week. This week, Mitchell Trubisky's terrible. Like,
near benched.
he is. He's every week he goes in, he's nearly benched. So I'm not there, on these Philadelphia Eagles cornerbacks. I'm extremely disappointed in Sidney Jones. The fact that he was a healthy scratch, I don't know if he ever plays another snap for the Eagles. It's gotten that bad. Encouraged by Jalen Mills for what he is. Darby is doing better for what he is. Rob, what's your take on that?
I'm going to go Darby's played well over the past couple weeks, granted against bad quarterbacks, but he has played well. Avonte Maddox, I'm eager to see what he can do throughout the rest of the season as he gets more time coming back from that injury. I think that if he plays the way that he did last
we
year...
didn't talk about Sendejo being cut.
Yeah, fuck him.
Idiot.
He's another one, a useless football player. But, yeah, they're going to be tested the next 2 weeks, the next two games, I should say, against Brady and Russell Wilson. That's going to be the true measuring stick, but I'm not sold on them just yet.
Got anything to add there, Chiefs fan? Roll into the next.
Eagles can be fine.
Eagles going to be fine. All right. Is the qualification for broadcasting or commentating on an NFL game simply just to suck worse than any other human would?
Hey,
So
Jason Witten can do
obviously,
it.
Jason Witten can't do it. That's why he went back to football, because he was that fucking bad.
Well, I mean,
I can't remember the dude's name right now.
He can as in he did. That doesn't mean he's actually good at it.
That's fair. I'm blanking on the guy's name right now. Did the Eagles-Bears game. But
Dick Stockton.
Dick Stockton, thank you. Was atrociously bad.
He's like 78 years old and probably drunk. So.
Probably. And he compounded it by then stating that he was 100% pleased with his fucking efforts and everything like that.
Of course he was. He was pleased and drunk.
Pleased and drunk.
You know what? Sam Rosen, the guy who does play-by-play for the Rangers, right? He does NFL games sometimes, and he's constantly getting guys' names wrong. I watched the replay of the Eagles-Browns game back in 2004. It's on YouTube when the T.O. ripped down the signs and whatnot. And both times that T.O. caught a touchdown pass, Sam Rosen got the name wrong. I think the one time he called him, Jason Avant or something like that. Now, it wasn't Avant. It was Reggie Brown. He called him Reggie Brown the one time.
That's embarrassing.
That's weird as
It's a
hell.
huge difference
Right?
in number and
Size, everything.
talent.
Yeah, there is. So I don't often watch games at bars like you do, Steve. But when I do, I find it a significantly more pleasurable experience because I can narrate the game in my own head the way that I'm seeing it. And I don't have to deal with some of the dumbassery that some of these commentators are. Most of them are terrible. Most. It's bad. The product of the NFL is not good.
Well, who did the Cowboys game? Was it Kevin Harlan?
I didn't watch Cowboys.
He called the cat going into the end zone.
Yeah. Kevin Harlan is probably the best guy.
Oh, he's awesome. He's so good.
Because not only is it the cat thing, because I listened to the replay of him calling it.
You gotta see the video.
Because he fucking does the play-by-play of, like, the stupid shit going on the field. Like, I remember, like, 3 years ago, like, the
streaker?
Yeah, and he's on the 10, and the man is drunk. Like, he was so fucking good, and he's making it entertaining. He's keeping me captivated. And I'm like, yeah, this is great. All right. So
man is drunk, but he doesn't care.
Yeah. It was so good, and like he just did it again with the cat. And it's like, and it's a touchdown. And then the Giants didn't score a touchdown.
I love an announcer who makes things entertaining, has fun with his job the way
exactly. So that's what I appreciate.
Appreciates it about him. Week of kickers and entertainment this week. Harrison Butker, who was just stoked after every single thing that he was on the field for, or Jake Elliott after his kick was then recovered by the Eagles to conclude the mess of a second half and give the Eagles a win. Who was more entertaining to you?
Harrison Butker.
Harrison Butker for me, hands down. That guy was hilarious.
Did you see what he said?
No, what did he say?
Because Patrick Mahomes was like the first one on the field freaking out. And I was like, that knee is healthy.
I was just saying the same thing.
And then he was like, why didn't you like embrace him? He's like, he's already hurt. Like, I can't hurt him anymore. That is our quarterback.
That's a very aware kicker right there. Good for Harrison Butker. Tyreek Hill or Usain Bolt, same guy. So this was in reference to Tariq catching up to Damian Williams there.
I was going to bring that up during the Chiefs one. But,
so we'll save some of that then.
No, it's Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Bolt.
Tyreek
Bolt. Combine them.
He's just fantastic. This did really piss me off, and we didn't talk about this in your Eagles section, Rob. Why the fuck did Deshaun Jackson even dress? They had a bye week the coming week. This is about the dumbest way that you could handle a player's injury that I've seen in Philadelphia. Somebody needs to be fired, hired again, and then fucking fired again just to get the point across everyone else's thick damn skulls. So they're right. You know, the guy had a partial tear that rehab didn't work, and he needed to get surgery. He went out there, played 6.5 plays or whatever, and now it's fully off the fucking bone, and now it's a significantly longer rehab process. Also, by the way, did you all see Deshaun Jackson's Instagram video?
No.
Today? He's acting like he survived like a fucking war or something. The guy got core muscle surgery, and he's walking around and he's just like, I'm gonna be back, all slow and stuff. And I'm like, man, everyone on the planet who's played your sport has gotten some sort of surgery.
But not for the core.
Shit. Not for the core.
The core of
a person.
Core area of a human body.
Think about this, though. If he got surgery after week 1, he'd already be back by now.
Yeah, because it was a partial, and it wasn't anywhere near as significant as it was now. Yeah. Putting him out there this past week against the freaking Bears, what the fuck? Give him that week. Give him the bye week.
That's hindsight 2020. You guys both wanted him out there.
If he was okay to go.
I didn't want him out.
I told you guys he wasn't.
You did. Assistant to somebody. Steve. Special advisor. Is Doug determined to never coach a complete football game? Who lets off the gas against an opponent who has been obsessed with losing to you for nearly a year? You knew that they were going to keep coming for you. Doug was terrible on Sunday.
Yeah, it really disappointed me. I didn't actually get to watch the game because I was on drill for the Air Force, but I was keeping up over my phone. I watched the highlights afterwards. They played really well in the first half. Maybe not really well, but they played well. They played well in the first half.
Yeah.
And then immediately gave up 14 consecutive points in the second half. Like, come on, if you go up 19-0 at halftime, you should win that game by at least like 25 points.
Score some fucking touchdowns earlier.
It was garbage time.
It wasn't garbage time.
No, it definitely was not. And even if it was, I hate when teams take their foot off the gas in garbage time because a lot of times it rolls over to the next game. The lack of momentum at the end rolls over into the beginning of the next game.
What was the spread of this game?
5.5.
They fucked people.
What? They won by...
Yeah, they won by 8.
They won by 8.
Yeah. 22-14.
Yeah, they did get 22-14.
Yeah, they covered the spread at the end.
Jake Elliott, there you go. Good for that man. I don't know.
That's why he was celebrating that onside kick.
Maybe so.
Money.
That's it. He bet on the Birds too.
spread.
We don't really care about the last couple questions here. The things that we basically covered in the earlier section.
Yeah, sorry, guys, your questions suck.
So, no, they were good questions. It's just they were good enough that we covered them already during the Eagles talk. So we're approaching like 80 minutes on this pod because this one's always going to be a longer show here. We went through some Lane Johnson advice. We just went through your questions. We're going to kick it over to our very loyal Chiefs fans who have been patiently waiting for Chiefs talk for several weeks, and me and Steve apologize for that. Steve, take us away, kid.
The Chiefs are back.
Chiefs are back.
Matt Moore could be a legitimate starting quarterback.
I still think he could.
He will die for your team, and he will throw at least one dime a game.
Find a way to say that every week.
Yes, I will. The defense is back. Did you see the Skip Bayless thing? Did you see the Skip Bayless thing?
Maybe.
He was saying that the Chiefs play with more quote-unquote spirit and fight with Matt Moore quarterback than Patrick Mahomes. Sure, that's kind of right.
It's the whole Nick Foles theory again.
What's that?
It's the whole Nick Foles theory.
It's any backup quarterback.
Yeah,
theory.
but Nick Foles is a lot better than Matt Moore.
Yeah, but I'm saying the Eagles played with a lot more fight when Nick Foles was playing.
Yeah.
So it's basically that just happening over in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess. Looking at the stats, this is crazy. The Chiefs had 7 receivers with a catch.
Very typical Andy Reid of a backup quarterback.
4 of them had 2 or less. Yeah. So
I guess what was it? Just Tyreek and
Watkins
Kelsey?
and Kelsey.
That's it, man. Way to utilize your best assets.
Literally, all you need. Tyreek Hill is.
He's just insane.
I am willing to say that he is a top 3 receiver in the league.
I agree.
Yeah. How about you,
He's
Rob?
up there.
Yeah.
He's up there. There's a few guys I would put ahead of him, but I'd say top 5.
He is 5'9",
Like Michael
fast
Thomas,
as shit, and he
Hopkins,
was still.
and Hill.
Yeah, and Tyreek Hill, 5'9", fastest player in the league, and he will still the ball will be underthrown. He jumps over 2 people. We saw it the other
And
week.
falls into the end zone somehow.
Yeah.
I thought that
It's
was
amazing.
picked off. That was amazing.
Yep, the man is just amazing. And then let's fast forward to the Damian Williams 91-yard touchdown, which tied Jamal Charles.
For the longest in Chiefs
Which
history.
I think was one of the best runs I've ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
The Jamal Charles one. Damian Williams, it was a lot easier for him.
Yeah, he had a huge hole just busted through.
And then Tyreek Hill realizing, okay, I just got to pull my arm to this guy and push him meh.
Right.
And then
He basically just cut him off. He was
Yeah.
just like, you can't catch me.
Yeah. And then he was like, you can't catch him either because he's 20 yards in front of me. And then he still beats him to the end zone. It was amazing.
It was hilarious.
It was goddamn hilarious.
So you watched it in real time too, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Did you think you were going to trip up?
No.
I did. I just assumed anything bad that could happen in your life, Steve, I just assume is going to happen.
I mean, me too, but in the same situation, it's the Chiefs. I'm in this situation, not so much.
I don't know, man. I was like, man, whose feet are going to get tangled up in home? I'm like, this is fucked.
No, because what I really anticipated was a high five. Because
I do love when they do that.
Because the Tyreek Hill, the Anthony Thomas connection on punt returns. Tyreek Hill's running away and D'Anthony Thomas there, and this is the beginning of Tyreek Hill's peace sign. D'Anthony Thomas was there, and they just high fived.
Slap hands.
But also another thing was, I think it was last week, Tyreek Hill literally just did the peace sign to a defender, and he got fined.
I know.
It's fucking.
It's like
No
15
fun
grand.
league.
It was stupid as hell.
I know, it's absurd though.
Yeah.
Just saying, yeah, man, peace.
Peace, brother. I don't
feels
understand.
ridiculous.
Everything is now. Everything's so soft. Everything. It's terrible. Let these
OBJ
people have
and
fun.
Landry got fined for having the wrong cleats on for
And I still
the
hate
Browns.
that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do understand the lucrative contracts that these guys sign and that they are advertisements. But for fuck's sake, man. Finding these people for this shit?
Yeah, it's stupid.
I hate it.
Anywho, the Chiefs Vikings game. Chiefs were the underdog. We're all betting men here.
I took the Chiefs.
Were you straight up this is a stupid underdog? I'm taking the Chiefs.
No.
I was.
Really?
Yeah. Kirk Cousins sucks.
I mean, I think Kirk Cousins stinks too.
Kirk Cousins has 4 good games. He was due for this shit of a game
I would say that your defense playing well for 2 weeks.
because Matt Moore's playing.
Right. Spiritly playing well for 2 weeks.
Fighting
They were
hard.
kind of peaking at the right time to play a quarterback who, you're right, was due for kind of a clunker. I took the Chiefs just because, in my mind, they have to win every game. It's just what I think. They have to win every fucking football game, mainly for your bet.
Yeah. How about you, Rob?
I didn't make a play on it. It was too tough a game for me to get read on.
Yeah, me, it was just-
it was
I did
like one of the
think
three
that
games
Dalvin
I
Cook
didn't make a
was
play
gonna
on.
annihilate you guys.
Of course, my parlay was fucked by the Jaguars getting blown out.
Yeah, that's why I tried to stick to the same
Hour
time
like,
games.
So
yeah.
do I.
How about Matt Moore died? he literally did die, and he fumbled the ball, but he also died on the ball and just brought it back.
Yeah, he starfished. That's all it was. It was
Literally.
amazing.
He did. That's why I'll always say that he will die for your team. He literally
Yep.
died and kept the ball.
Yep. He knows the extreme amount of loyalty of Matt Moore.
Yeah. Sammy Watkins one-hand grab.
Yeah. All right. So I didn't see that one in real time. I got
I
your
did.
text, and then I was waiting, and I had to start.
You
I
got
just
my text?
I think you sent me maybe you sent me a text, or one of our Chiefs guys that we follow
Yeah.
posted something on Twitter, but I didn't see the GIF or the video yet. So I just kept sitting there. I was refreshing Twitter, and I was like, "Oh my god, that man!"
Yeah. It's pretty absurd. As long as he's healthy,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
a top receiver in the league.
I just had an argument with
It's a
a guy
shame
that
he
I
was
work with.
misused everywhere else he went before Kansas
I don't
City.
know. He was not healthy.
His
everywhere else.
beginning,
On Buffalo, he had a shit quarterback thrown to him.
I think it was his first 8
Wasn't
games.
it Fitzmagic?
I think it was
It was
JP
Tyrod, I
Lawson.
think.
Or Tyrod.
Yeah, it was Tyrod.
Tyrod's not shit at all.
Yeah, he is.
You guys are assholes.
Wow. No, I like Tyrod Taylor.
All right, thank you.
I wanted him to be the backup for
Tyrod.
That would have been a
Mahomes.
great
Yeah.
backup. Yeah.
Yeah, it would not have been spending 2 hours watching or searching and watching Matt Moore highlights.
That's true. Of the last time he played football.
But yeah, so the Chiefs play the Titans this week. Mm-hmm. Patrick Mahomes is a full participant in practice.
I don't know that I would play him against the Titans yet.
I don't even think I would play him either.
Yeah.
I would just
I'd give him another.
continue to rest it up, and then I think they play the Chargers, the Raiders. They're playing a divisional game the next week after.
Yeah.
I think I would bring it back then.
Yeah, I think that's the
If
approach.
you can beat Minnesota with Matt Moore, you should be able to take care of the Titans with Matt Moore.
But that's the thing.
100%. Yeah.
You should.
Yeah, but it's
in
Andy
theory.
Reid.
Nah.
I don't know. When was the last
I'm
time the
not-
Titans played a good game? Where are we at?
What are you
here?
trying to say that they're due this week?
I don't know. It's every 3.5 weeks.
I don't know.
Like, that's basically how it works. It works down.
Yeah. You never bet on the Titans if they're favored.
That's true.
Nah, I'm not. If I'm a Chiefs fan, I'm not worried about the Titans.
I mean, no one should ever really worry about the Titans. but
I still have PTSD.
You should, but the batted down Marcus
Marcus
Mariota
Mariota
to himself.
catching it to himself.
And again, last year, as an Eagles fan, I said we shouldn't worry about the Titans, and turns
Doug
out we should
Peterson
have.
coached a shit game.
yeah.
Well, yeah, but
And Andy Reid is a perfect coach. He's never blown a football game before, so it's not
Never,
something he
never.
ever has to worry about.
never.
Take a drink.
And in the last couple minutes of the game, clock management is his forte.
Yeah, he's excellent.
They could have been the fucking Packers.
They should have beaten the Packers. That was
Oh my
the
God.
worst use of 3 timeouts.
He
I've ever
punted
seen
the
in my
ball,
life.
and then he used 3 timeouts before the 2-minute warning. Oh my god!
Second worst Super Bowl, 2004.
It wasn't great.
As a Chief. Oh my god, yeah. But Charles Ward's good. I was doubting him in the beginning of the year, but he's got his shit
Did you
together.
not pick him as a standout star at least 2 of the first 3 weeks?
At least once. I think Juan Thornhill's been my go-to.
Yeah.
And he's been solid, but not certainly a standout.
He's not a
star.
stats stuffer right now.
No, he's just a solid player that
Yeah.
does it. But yeah, I don't really think I have much more on the Chiefs.
Not much more on the Chiefs.
No.
We are going to have another Chiefs segment. We have Whiskey Ramble coming up in a little while too. Thursday, Saturday, we
Friday,
said.
I think.
Friday we're doing
It's either Friday evening or Saturday afternoon.
one of the 2 dates. We'll get some more in there.
Shane and I do apologize. Scheduling conflicts has happened. Shane's got a job again.
I know my life's different now.
Yeah, and me, I'm an alcoholic. So yeah, I do apologize. But yeah, we will be getting back onto it. The times where I can tell that we're not going to be able to, I'm going to bring up the Chiefs onto this one.
A little more extensively.
Yeah, and I do appreciate you guys bearing with me, especially you, Rob, because you don't give a shit about the Chiefs and you hate Andy Reid.
Yeah. Well,
goes
all three of
accurate.
us hate Andy Reid, don't we?
That is
Yes,
true.
this is true. This
Oh,
is
It's
a
the real
anti-Andy
reason.
Reid
Yeah,
podcast.
It's the real reason we formed this pod.
All right, so I'm going to make a bold take about the Chiefs, though.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
here we go.
Matt Moore is going to start, and they're going to drop at least 35 points on the Titans.
Ooh, I would love to see it. All right, I'll add it to the Steve text and call it Rob
Take. Rob's take. All
You
right,
you said 35 points.
35
35
points with Matt Moore, quarterback.
And I will bet on the Chiefs to cover the spread. That's part of my parlay.
Ooh.
I dig it. I support the confidence that he's got there. Before we wrap this one up, as always, we will go to a Rate the Drink segment. We did introduce the beer of tonight that we are drinking, and it is
Hop Devil.
Hop Devil IPA by Victory.
I know it's a hard name to remember, you know.
It is. It's also, I hate the fucking colors of it.
Why? Because it's blue?
Man, it looked like baby blue, which is goofy.
Well, Victory is a phenomenal brewing company, all right?
There you go. So let's see. Do we have a drink of the week for each of you guys this week?
I'm just going with something basic.
Something basic.
I'm going with a Miller Lite, just like the Eagles' performance on Sunday. Nothing too sexy, but it got the job done.
Well, that's significantly worse than what we're drinking tonight.
I think Steve's going to finally get his first victory.
It's very underwhelming.
I got a victory.
There you
Yeah.
go. Playing on words here. Rob, that doesn't even crack 3 for me. We're gonna go like 2-7-1.
I was due for a bad week at some point.
That's true. This is 3 solid weeks in a row for
Yeah.
you, where you had quality decisions in alcohol selections. Steve, what are we going with for you this week?
I have to go with the Hop Devil.
You're gonna go with the Hop Devil. I support that. A tasty IPA, 6.7% alcohol. 6.7.
Yeah.
Called it.
So you remember the alcohol percentage, but not the
I
name.
remember the important things. So while you are most definitely rating and reviewing this podcast and all AMYP product and podcasts, you should be doing so whilst eating and enjoying the delicious food made for you by Just Food. Our good friend Asian Rob over there will supply you with whatever the hell that you want. If you can pronounce it, he's got it. If you can't, he's probably got that too. 215-794-FOOD, 215-794-3663. Treat yourself. Take it home. That is going to be it for Backyard Beers and Football. Have a beer with us. Eat the food from Just Food. And suffer through 90 minutes of NFL football talk. We will see you guys next week.
Suffer or enjoy? I think it's enjoy.
Suffer and enjoy.
A fighting man I used to be, revered and feared through Killarney. Now I'm back to hitching with a win. But if Mickey Flynn should ever find me, I'll throw me caution all behind me and square off on that son of a bitch again. He cracked open a river too, he beat me Sunday through and through, and such over my unconscious frame. I won me healthy sheriff fights, well lucky son, still happy life since Mickey Flynn beat me dumb and lame.